This episode is brought to you by the official recovery drink of the Noble CrossFit Games. For more information, you can use the QR code or you can click the link in the show notes below.
Welcome to the best hour of their day. My name is Louis Cavallini, owner of Cow Harbor CrossFit out in Long Island, New York. And today we're going to talk about how we can make you the best version of yourself in your life.
We're also going to talk about his journey as an affiliate owner once, twice, and how we turned Cow Harbor CrossFit into the awesome gym that it is today.
And we're going to talk about finding and building superpowers in the team in your affiliate. Welcome to the best hour of their day podcast with your hosts, Jason Fernandez.
And me, Jason Ackerman. With more than 20 years in the business,
As both coaches and affiliate owners,
our passion is to help create world-class affiliates
and coaches by building
better boxes. Welcome to
the best hour of your day. All right, guys, welcome back. Best hour of their day podcast. Fern, Marcus, Louis Cavallini. We are here at CrossFit, or actually, I always say it backwards because I want to lead with CrossFit, but it's Cow Harbor CrossFit. Just did a workout. You coached an average class, I think. Okay. It was like, I give you like a C minus. No, I was actually impressed. It was really good.
Great class.
I was talking to Nate, and it was very good use of time management. If we were talking about group management, I think you get an A+ in group management.
Okay.
My friend.
He doesn't dole those out lightly.
No, I don't.
Presence and attitude, I got it or what?
It's top of the heap.
Yeah, no doubt.
Seeing and correcting. We gotta talk about it a little bit. That's fine. That was good. That was good. But no, dude, thanks for having us. We're up here in New York on the Long Island, called Long Island.
Yes.
And Marcus and I were chatting. This is not. I've been to New York many times. My wife went to school up here. And this is not what I think about when I think about New York.
No.
Yeah.
What do you think about when you think about New York?
Just the city. Yeah.
Concrete.
Right?
Buildings.
Like concrete stores.
This is
we
all
drove smoke coming out of the stores.
Yeah, we drove lots of trash. There was not a single person honked on our drive here. I was like, this isn't even New York. I don't even know what's happening.
Well, you know you're close to New York when you go out to a local diner for dinner and you're hanging out with the entire like Goodfellas.
Yeah. We went to that restaurant last night. I was like, this is New York. I was like, this is quite literally The Sopranos. The guy was just like, "Yeah, we can help you out. What do you need? I was like, just a water. How about that?"
Well, I don't want to point out.
Gives you the wink, the water.
When we got here, though, I want to point out something about your box, which is really cool. Is the vibe here, the like community vibe is palpable when you come in here. Everybody loves everyone. Everyone was chatting and hanging out with everybody. We see that you see a version of that in all CrossFit gyms, but this was really, really nice when we walked in here. It was really obvious.
You know, I say, I mean, the motto here is strength and family, right? And when I learned that, I was like, wow, like, let me see what that's all about. And when you ask most of my members how long they've been here, you'd be surprised how many would say, like, 8 years, 7 years, 6 years. Like, there's long-time members here. I mean, you guys got to meet the first ever member of Cow Harbor.
Yeah, I met Dean, who's been here for 10 years, and I met Steve, who's 148 years old and has been here for 8 years. and dude, he's 70. He's fit, bro.
Yeah.
And he's packing some energy.
Yeah. He is an inspiration to many. He's inspiration to many. He comes to that 10 a.m. class, and we call it the Steve Roar, right? You've heard it. He did it
at the end of class.
In the middle of the workout sometimes, he'd be like, bah! Like, and he just fires the people up. And it's that energy, man. That energy that these the Cow Harbor members have bring here just give me life. They make me come into this box. They make my coaches come into the box every day, loving what we do. You know, my GM Alice and I always make fun of, like, you know, coaching that 5:30 a.m. class. A lot of the times either me or her, or Coach Sarah, and I'm telling you, waking up at 4:30 in the morning to coach class, that's tough, but...
That's why I don't do it.
Right? But I tell you this, and we say it.
It's bottom of the list.
And to the members that hear this, like, you come into that 5:30 game class, I'm telling you, you're going to be fired up. They're going to fire you up because the energy they bring in there, that vibe that you're talking about, Marcus, they carry that in and bring it at 5:30 in the morning, right? And because of that, because they give us that, we just do what we do better, right? And it just gives 100%. Us that fuel.
That's something I learned the hard way. Early on in my affiliate ownership is like I coached a lot of the 6 a.m.s like way back in the day.
Yeah.
And the attendance really suffered.
Because you were coaching?
Yeah. I'm not even kidding you.
No vibes for in front of the class.
Where's this going? Oh,
well,
okay.
but it was because of that. Is because I showed up with a shitty attitude because I didn't want to coach the morning. And then when I decided, I was like, hey, that's unacceptable. And I was like, hey, I'm coming in there. You know, I'd be out in the parking lot slapping myself in the morning. Like, change the vibe.
Yeah.
you changed the vibe, right? Like people started showing up. It became one of the biggest classes that we had for attendance-wise. It's because you just show up with that energy. Don't show up, looking like you got bags underneath your eyes, like you just rolled out of bed. Like you got to come in here ready to go. Like they came in here. People are coming here to work out, not like wake you up.
It's the worst when you walk in the morning, coach. It's acting like they're doing you a favor.
Right.
They're just like, hey, be happy I'm here with their coffee, and you're just like, listen, buddy, expect a little more out of you.
I do want to talk about your GM Allison and your relationship, but I will get to that. But let's talk about you. This is not your first affiliate. You've been in the game for a minute.
Wayback Machine. Let's hit it.
10 years. My L1 was taken in 2011, and I came to ownership of my first gym in 2012. So I'm over 10 years. I'm coaching for 11 years, an owner for 10 years. I've seen the island grow CrossFit, change CrossFit. I mean, it's funny. Like I get phone calls from people, and they're like, "Hey, I'm moving into the area. I'm coming from this gym." I'm like, "Oh, so and I drop the name, and like, how do you know them? I'm like, I kind of like I've seen the gyms all happen in Long Island.
Have you heard of Jason Ackerman? No.
Yeah, yes, I have.
His name made it all the way to Long Island from Albany.
Jason Ackerman's the guy that inspired me to do what I'm doing today.
Listen, now we can't. Now we have to chop that out.
Edit that out, please.
I will say, I met Ackerman when he was in CrossFit Albany. I did a competition out in CrossFit Albany back in 2012, 2013, and Ackerman was there. And I remember, again, think about it. I was like a year into coaching, very fresh as an owner, and I walk into this racquetball gym. Right? It's exactly what it was. Some rented space, and the competition was loud. The people were cheering. I'm like, I need to create this. Like, I'm just brand new into this industry or into just an ownership. Like, I need to replicate this down my line. And I tell you, like, again, I ain't telling this, but I'm going to shout out to Ackerman for being the guy that really said, here's your inspiration, right? Like, do it.
Earlier when we were talking about vibe, this ain't it, Louis. This ain't the vibe we were looking for, dude.
And listen, and it came to it, and then when I came across you guys, I was like, oh, snap, that's the guy. Like, that's like, I lost kind of like connection with him. Not that I ever was connected and like talking, but I started seeing him on social media, and I'm like, oh, this. And that's when I came across Affiliate U, and I was like, look at that, full circle. Like, where I once wanted to see, I went through my journey for those 10 years, and here it brings me today, right? And it's been fun, man. It's been fun. And I'll be very 100% honest with you. Affiliate U, like, I've been an owner for 10 years. I truly feel like I've been an owner for 1 year. Why? Because finding you guys, finding these things that I never really put focus on, or maybe just wasn't doing that clear, like, now I feel I'm in it, right? Like, if I'm doing what I did now back in 2012, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'd be the largest gym in Long Island. I truly feel that way.
That's a bold statement, my friend.
I know. Listen, there's a lot of respect.
I like your style. Yeah.
I respect a lot of owners out there. There's guys who I still look up to.
Trish has something to say about that, by the way. Battle on CrossFit,
Trish,
shout out.
Yes,
yeah.
Yes. But I tell you, I truly feel that this is my first year as an owner. Like, and even from like just systemizing my stuff, goal orientation, coach development, coach connection, it's all happening. But what I will say, I'm not going to take away from the last 10 years, because the last 10 years taught me what to look for now. The last 10 years taught me what's better, what's right, what's wrong. Did that, fuck that up, that screwed that one up. I don't know, can I curse on this podcast?
Fuck no, dude, don't say that.
And now, like, there's things that I'm literally like, yeah, like, I've been doing that. Holy shit, I could do that much better. And it's great. Like, so, like, my 10 years has been a journey that I truly appreciate. I've grown myself as a person. I mean, I met my wife through CrossFit, right? We have a baby. We have a 10-month-old. And
he's on the calls. He's getting it. He's soaking it up, dude.
That's right. And my wife has been so supportive of what I do, and even diving into this with you guys. Everything I bring up, she goes, ask the guys. Jump on the call. Ask the guys. I'm like, dude, I'm talking about groceries.
We do owe some.
I got to ask them about groceries?
Yeah, we do owe some shout-outs to some wives out there. People tell us all the time, like, my wife says I should ask you guys this. So I do. Let's go back, right? What was your first affiliate?
My first affiliate was about in Levittown. It was called CrossFit Revenge. maybe about 35 minutes from here.
It's aggressive branding.
Yeah, it was. It was
A statement to make.
Back in the day, that's what it was.
It was revenge, right? And
Let's make it as scary as possible.
Blood dripping from the logo.
It was red. It was like all this like cat scratches. People loved it. Like, oh, I love the name. Like, so I was there. So I was their first hired coach back in 2010, 11, late 10, early 11, and then I came into ownership 2012. We took that till about 2016.
Okay.
And then that's where we just kind of like, I closed shop. I parted ways, my partner, just differences. And more than anything, we were working out of a retail space, like storefront.
Yeah.
Get ready for it. I was paying $32 a square foot. They wanted nearly $9,000 a month in rent for 3,000 square foot facility.
That hurts.
It was just like, I was maximizing everything. Like I was running out of room. Like, where am I going to go?
There's places where that can work, but you have to have really high throughput. Like there needs to be really dense population, particularly
Correct.
talking about 3,000 square foot. So we're here in your affiliate. This is like
This is 4,000 square feet.
4,000 square feet.
Roughly.
Still got it.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
So
Very close.
it can work.
It can.
But man, that really starts to mess
big
with
lift.
Yeah, it's a heavy lift.
9,000?
It puts you behind the 8 ball right out of the gate and makes
Right.
everything harder.
Right, like if you told me, hey, $9,000, $8,000 for, 6,000, 7,000, we'll make it work. Like I can do that. 3,000 square foot facility just wasn't working. So we ended up closing that shop, and shout out to all the CrossFit Revenge members because they truly, they till this day are like best friends, like that community sense, right? Like there's been marriages that have come out of there, kids have been born, everything. So I still see them around and I hear from them every so often. So I missed that. And when I came on over to here, because then there was like a little
How far is that from where we're at now?
35 minutes, 40 minutes.
Is it in Long Island though?
It's Long Island,
Okay, got
Levittown,
it.
yes. So then that was 2016. Then I coached around 2017. Just kind of stopped CrossFit training. Just was working at another gym, just wasn't working out, and things went sour, and I was just like, I'm out. I hate CrossFit. I hate people. Peace. I really did that. I really had this like
Burnout.
moment of like, yes, exactly that, a burnout.
Do you remember what led to that?
What led to?
The burnout.
I just trying to do it all. When I say all, I mean all, right? 100% of everything. You name it, dude. From the management, from the onboarding, the cancellations, freeze memberships, social event. You name it, I did it all. And then I love to coach. When I coach, I'm going to give you 150% of me. So on top of managing it all and then delivering it all in the classroom, like things suffered, right? Like my relationship with which was my girlfriend at the time, suffered, who's now my wife, right? And we kind of like had to just kind of reset everything. And I took a break from it all. And then the stars aligned and this Adam Swarson, who was the previous owner into this gym, who's still a diehard member here.
That's cool.
He's great. People love him. He's that perfect member you want part of your gym, right? So he reached out to me because he knew I lived here locally. We had a conversation. We started coaching. And I tell you, that first day I came back to coaching, I was nervous as shit. I haven't done it, like what, a year maybe, year and a half? I was scared. I was like, do I want to do this again? All it took was 2 classes, maybe even that first class, to just light the fire.
You're like, oh, I remember
was
this.
just like, this is it. Like, I do this for a reason, and I'm getting back into it. And then shortly after that...
You notice how Louis keeps moving away from us? I feel like we're just moving back this way.
And shortly after that, a year into coaching, I was happy enough and lucky enough to acquire the gym. And here we are, building the team, doing the magic, and we're just growing. I mean, I tell you, COVID was scary for us. COVID was terrifying.
Well,
for
it
us.
just wasn't just for you.
Right. But now, hear this. So here I am coaching 1 year. I bought the gym in April of 2019, right? COVID hits.
So 9 months later.
Well, yeah, like 11 months later,
yeah.
right? Like 10 months
like
later,
March.
COVID hits, right? Boom, I lose so much. So many members helped me stay afloat. We lost around 56 to 58 members. But what I've built in that year as an owner allowed us to take that kind of hits. And what was remaining just kept us afloat. It just kept us above water. And we got through it. And then fast forward to then when we reopened, I think like September of 2020 or so, September of 2020. It was just like, let's build the boat back up.
So you guys were shut down for almost 6 months?
Yeah, even maybe 7 months. It was hard. It was hard. But I tell you, I was blessed with the right members to keep me up above. My team stayed with me, and they said, what do you need? Let's get through it. And we stuck through it. And then come when we reopened the doors, that first year, it was just like, let's just get back. Let's just get back on our feet. Let's just get back to where we were. Because I tell you this, February was the last month that we operated before COVID. It was our most successful month as me as an owner, and according to Adam, most successful month in many years. Mm-hmm. So we were at a high. We lost it all. We lost so much.
Sure.
And we build it back up. We reopen, we build it back up. Find you guys. My team growing, dedicated, even more, members coming back. I'm happy to say, and I can say this live on the podcast, that what are we in May? May has been our highest grossing month in the history of Cow Harbor.
Nice,
right?
man. Well done.
Did it.
That's cool.
Did it, right? And here I am, and I kind of added this in there. I'm just a few shy from having my highest gross earnings as an owner in 10 years. And
That's awesome.
It's literally the most uplifting thing to me because it's because of my members, my team, my wife, that it all came through. And of course you guys, all that has come through. So I took a major tangent on what I was telling you because I just went deep. I don't know where we started, but all I just wanted to say,
nobody knows where we started, Louis. That's the beauty of this podcast.
You know, but here we are, like this is it.
It's been cool to watch you do that, but I think what's valuable is I want to go back to revenge. Right? I want to talk about that because everybody fucks things up.
Yeah.
You make mistakes as a business owner, as a leader, as a husband, dad, all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
What were some of the biggest takeaways? Like if you look back now, revenge, like lessons learned that you've taken here and not repeated at Cow Harbor.
Not repeated at Cow Harbor. Lessons learned. I'm going to say there's a lot, right? And I think one of them is learning. We'll keep it business-wise here. Like
go wherever you want with it. Doesn't matter. Money
management, like learning that, like there was no focus on that. It was just like, okay, open the bank account. We made it. Right now, I'm now foreseeing what the next 3 months look like, what the next 6 months. I'm starting to see trends, right? I've had no focus on that when I was out in Levittown. But then I don't blame myself because I've never owned a business. I went to school for health science, right? I went to school for exercise management. I did all that. I did nothing.
If it makes you feel any better, I have an economics degree and was still bad with money, so that didn't work either.
And that was one of them, right? And this one is another one, and it's hard to even say this because people may watch this from my gym and be like, oh, really? That's what it is. There needs to be a fine line between who you are as a business and who you are as a friend. Because when that line gets crossed and you're very BFF, friend, it really makes things awkward to have either a little more harder conversations with people. And listen, I appreciate and I respect my members and they're friends of mine very much. But there needs to be a fine line that we don't cross.
It's professionalism.
Right? Yes.
Right? It's simply being a professional. You can be friends with your members. You can have relationships. But there is an air of professionalism that you must bring if you want to keep the dynamic healthy between the business owner and the client aspect of the relationship.
Correct. And you know what? That's helped me so much. And not to say that I don't have a good relationship with any of my members. I have a great, amazing relationship with them.
If you set it up right, you can maintain all of that. It's the myth that you can't be both pragmatic and customer service oriented. Right. Like that's not accurate. And the way that you solve that riddle is you put the appropriate policies and procedures in place. And I know this sounds like real, like structured and you know, we've talked about this at length. Don't put policies in place that you don't feel comfortable enforcing, right? If that rule doesn't feel like you, throw it in the trash. I don't care what Bob down the street did. That's his rule. Let him manage his gym. You have your own stuff. And I think once you put those things in place, and this is people are like, hey, should I write this? And I'm like, are you going to enforce that rule? Because if you're not, it's just like having kids, don't do it. And they're like, I feel better with this rule. I'm like, go with the rule that you're going to enforce. Now you can avoid all those uncomfortable conversations because, no, that's the rule, man. Like we talked about it beforehand. Everybody's clear. You talked about communication earlier. Yeah. And I think that is, one of the really big portions of designing all of this and putting this together that everybody skips, which is like there needs to be some structure. And then going back to what we always teach is, if it's the right thing to break the rules, then break the rules, man.
Yeah.
So I think that, and then the money thing, and I was on a call with Nicole Carroll the other day.
Yeah.
Not just she and I, but like the training department, and she brought up an old Simon Sinek quote, just about like, and this is something I think all affiliate owners should take to heart, which is businesses are not created to make money. But you need money to go where you need to go, right? The analogy he's like, they didn't create the cars. The point of a car is not to put gas in it, right? The point of a car is to take you from A to B, to get you to the end state. You have a mission that you're driving. Yeah. But I do need gas to get in there. And with regard to money, like you do need money to execute the mission, the vision that you want. Correct. All you need to do is learn how to, it's the fuel. You need to learn to pair those two together, because if you do it right, you can get to your end state, your mission, whatever it is that you're driving towards, faster, more efficiently, in a grander scale, more impact, all of that kind of stuff. Money's not bad unless you do bad things with it.
Right.
So, you learned those are two really big lessons that most people never recover from. It's just like creating structure and then learning how to use money.
Yeah. I agree. I fully agree with that, because following hitting those two has helped me just create this wonderful place at Cow Harbor. And, back to you're referring to as money and creating opportunity, and that's what it is. Like, for me, it's about creating opportunity for myself and my team. And if I can do that by creating money into the business, it's just going to grow. It's just going to go good, let me add this to that as well. I want to say that one thing I also learned that's important from my old gym to now is you got to give a shit about these people. You got to care. Like, you really got, like,
if you don't, you're in the wrong business.
This isn't for you.
Let me tell you something. You can walk, every single one of my members can walk in here and I can tell you each one of their last names, and probably about maybe 80% of them I can tell you what to do for a living. And I don't do that just because it's like, hey, I'm the owner, I should know this information. It's because I give a shit about what you do in life. I want to know about you. I want you to go missing for 3 weeks and you come back and me be like, yo, so how was your Disney trip? It's like, holy crap, you remember I went on my Disney trip?
Yeah.
Right?
This is the conversation. They're like, hey, I haven't seen so-and-so in a week. I'm like, I think he's on vacation. Ask him how vacation's going. Like, just check in with him. It's fine. You don't have to be like, hey, we haven't seen you in a week. Be like, he's on vacation. Just check in with him. Have him send you a picture. Ask him how the kids are. Are you having a good time? Did you drop in any boxes? Like, whatever. This is also something that I think people, you can take any pendulum and just swing it all the way the other side, which is like, well, all I have to do is care. Wrong. You can be a caring moron.
Yeah.
Right, just simply caring is not enough. You need to care, and then pair that with working smart, right? Being efficient, like putting things in place, really honing your craft, and continue to sharpen the axe. Care is the base of how you build all of this. But then I have to stack skills on top of care. That's how you create, and that's how you start moving in the direction that you guys are moving, which is the base is care. Now we have to establish skill sets to stack on top of care, because once you have that, that's rocket fuel.
Yeah. And I learned that, man. My 10 years, I've just learned what that is all about and what it entails. Like, I genuinely love people. Like, I do. You know what? And then when these people trust me and invest their time into me, like, that's important to me. I've received messages, even shortly as during this week. It's like, hey, just want to let you know, I really appreciated that time you worked with me. I was having a bad day, and like, I never knew that. I didn't know that when you walked into the gym, right? But guess what? Like, you trust me to turn your day around. Let me do it, right? You can be having the best day of your life. I'm gonna make it even better. You can be having the shittiest day of your life. I'm gonna make it better, right? And I genuinely care for people to have that time that they chose to block out in their day to be that best hour of their day.
Hey, look at that branding. It's good. It's good.
There's that 50, I promise you.
So I want to chat a little bit about Allison. Because this is something, when you came in, this was a goal that we had chatted about, which is like, hey, I want to build the team. So we chatted very briefly with her, and she kind of showed us around. She's a killer.
Yeah.
Right. Like she's good.
Yep.
But talk to us a little bit about. Did you have any kind of like full timers when you had Revenge before, or was it just you and your partner?
No, I mean, that term full time is like, you and I have the discussion, like, what is it actually defined? If I had to say I've had one full time, if I had any full timers in my other gym, I like to say yes. I like to have 1.5, if that makes sense. Maybe 2 full timers, right? I had people.
Let's clear the air on this, everybody. Okay, so when this is an odd question to me. They're like, "What is full time?" And I'm like, "It means they make a living doing this job. They don't do anything else. I don't care how many hours they work. They earn enough to pay their bills and live their life. That is what full time is. That can look like a lot of things. When somebody's like, "Well, how many hours does a full timer work?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Enough to earn a paycheck that they can pay
the job done.
Get the job done. It's fine."
So I had 2 in the previous gym, and then I came here. And Allison, I adopted Allison because when I acquired the gym, Allison was part of it.
Not literally adopted her.
No.
Okay, I was like, all right, she seems a little old for you to be her dad. Yeah, awkward.
She became part of my team, and I said, okay, let's make it work. I want to know your skill set. I want to know everything. And I tell you, Allison is the most organized person that I have ever met. And it's almost like a little crazy OCD stuff going on over here. Like, hey, Allison.
You got to have one of those people.
Girl after my heart.
Literally, she's like, you've not met Marcus.
She wears that badge proudly, right? And she came in and she was just like, organize. What Allison did not have was structure with the business. So she's trying to organize things, but nothing was structured. And then I come in,
which is a nightmare for somebody with that skill set, by the way.
Yeah, it was driving her nuts. So I came in and I said, all right, we ain't going to change this over a week. We're going to change this over the course of a few months, right? Maybe even a year. And she applied herself so quick. She was able to adapt so fast. Whatever the change was, she goes, I'm going to try it. Let's try it. I'm going to do it. Let's do it. We've tried things that utterly failed. They just didn't work. And it was like, no, didn't go. But Allison was cool about it. She was like, yeah, it didn't work. Let's try this. Let's try this different style. And we came to just find that. So now here's Allison. No structure of the gym, organizing it all. I think if I remember correctly, she was probably coaching about 25 plus classes a week.
Ooh.
Damn!
Ooh.
Now think about all of that.
Spicy.
Right?
Brother.
And here I am, and I said, it's either.
This is when you took over.
This is when I took over. I was like, Allison's either going to run out here and be like, I'm done with this.
Yeah, there's a clock ticking on that one. yeah. I don't know what that time bomb is set at, but that's going to go off at some point.
So here I'm like, okay, she has a lot of what I need to help create structure. Well,
what you're bringing up here is something that I've seen many box owners struggle with. Is they've got somebody who can do the things, right? They've got somebody who kind of fits the bill with regard to putting structure, but the owner, the leader, the chief of the tribe is constantly getting in their way. Yeah. They won't let them create the structure, or they won't give them the bandwidth or the autonomy to start putting that structure in place. And then and like we said earlier, like that is a nightmare for somebody who's organized. Like they want to put things in the boxes and get them lined up. You need that in a business, right? Like, you walk into your average CrossFit gym, and it's not like boutique, right? But that doesn't mean that it's not structured, it's not organized, there's not systems in place. And there's many box owners that you've got somebody in there that can be your superhero to get this thing running, and you just constantly get in their way. And one of the things that you did is like, oh, I recognize that. How do I not only not get in the way, how do I empower this person to help make the machine run?
Yeah. Well, it's like having someone with you picked the word out of my brain. You have someone who has a superpower, and you're not allowing them to use it, and they know they could apply it and fix it, and you're saying yes, but you can't use that. Bye. So we got pretty girls waving with bye. It's like having a superhero with this superpower, and you're saying, yeah, but you can't use your spider web magic here, even though they're like, I can fix this all with my spider webs. Right. And a lot of people lose really great, compatible teammates that would help be the complementary of the other side of whatever they're missing. They have that there. The people usually come up themselves and either offer their services or come up through the ranks somehow, and they blow it. I've blown it. I've blown it in opportunities before where I had someone who was perfect, but because I was not willing to either give up the reins at that time, or I didn't recognize it in time and they were burned out and over it before, you can lose really talented people that would have been perfect. And from the second we started talking, you know, she pointed out how grateful she was. I mean, she was talking about how much she loved Adam, the previous owner, but she's like, it was the perfect timing for you to come in and you guys work together. She said you guys were your work husband and wife.
That's right.
You guys are both married, but you guys have this thing going here too.
It's my work wife.
And how great you guys work as a team. And that only happens when the owner recognizes that and enables that, and then supports that and encourages that.
Yeah, you know,
well
and thank you. And I mean, you know, 10 years coaching, I've been given different compliments, right, and different, you know, different ways of saying thank you, Lou. But I think Allison definitely is possibly within the top 3, maybe the top 1. One day she called me. She goes, Lou, I just want to let you know, I want to say thank you. But because of you, I'm a better wife. I'm a better friend. I'm a better coach. I'm a better person. So thank you for allowing me to work with you the way you do. And for me, I said, what? Like, you're thanking me for being a better person in this world. Like, that right there takes coaching and puts it to the 100th power, right? Like, great, I taught you butterfly pull-up, but fuck that. You're just telling me I made you a better person and happier person in life.
Well, this is how you avoid burnout. Like, this is what gets you up for 20 years to do this job, and every day you're like, I cannot wait to go to the box. Yeah. And there's levels to everything, and you get better at it over time. But you know, coaches, GMs, they'll come into the box for opportunity and to develop technical skills. They will stay for the personal connection and the development. Yeah. That is why they will stay. Not because this is like, you know, you guys have a competition team or whatever. They're not going to stay for those things. They will leave. Eventually you guys will break up. They will stay for a long time, and they will get what they need until it's, you know, the right time to part ways if they feel cared about. Yeah. That's what you have to invest in. You know, that's the book, I think, Last Great Investment or something. I forget what that book's called, but it's just like, it's people. It's 100%. People. Like, you got to invest in people.
And that's what Allison has taught me, right? And I'm sure she's heard the podcast. And what Allison's taught me is I need to care for the people that are willing to believe in me as well, to work together and create this. Because my team is a priority. Like, I have to make them happy. And Allison, for sure, like, she is that superhero, you know? And if I continue to make her use those superpowers and have her grow as a person, well, then me and Allison will see this for years and years to come, right? And that's the truth. So she's taught me, as much as she's told me and she's complimented me on those things, I say thank you for her for making me know even deeper on how important it should be to me to help my team and my people grow together, for sure.
You got a great thing going here, man.
Thank you.
It's an interesting time in the CrossFit space right now, and coming up to a point where there's been a lot of business development folks in the space. But what's important about what we do is we are for CrossFit, by CrossFitters, and what we do is we develop affiliates.
I think I've told you guys this in the past as well, is like knowing what I know now and knowing that where we're at versus where we were at, I would have paid double.
And what's unique about what we do is we love this, we live this, and there's nothing that we would rather do. Other cool stuff, it is worth CEUs for you and your coaching staff, but outside of that, the goal for us is to get you to the next level as a CrossFit affiliate owner.
There's a point with box ownership that you can kind of start to begin to feel like you're spinning your wheels and burning out, and by joining Affiliate U, it's only helped create that happiness that I used to know and love and here, and it's trickled down even to our members as well. So it's very, very rewarding to see the enjoyment on everybody's face.
We're here to help you do that. If you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you. We know the anxiety involved with running an affiliate, getting burnt out, having somebody else selling you a product that you don't actually want to buy. That's not what we're about, okay? We are selling straight stick CrossFit. We are supported by CrossFit, first and only CrossFit approved affiliate development in the space. Hit us up, we'd love to work with you.
What are you working on now?
As far as
in the box.
What am I working on now?
Or personally.
Box? Let's see. What I'm working on in the box. My team growth. Okay. Yeah. So that's been a huge thing in which I I want to just grow my team and go and experience and have opportunities together, right? Educational-wise, experiences life-wise. This is my family, right? And I need to care for them. And we just jump off that topic, but it's something I'm working on because I'm now having conversations with coaches on, hey, what's our next project with you and I? What are we doing? I have this idea. What do you think? And what we're doing is everybody has their special superpower, and I'm finding what that is. And now we're just making business from it and giving you opportunity to learn from it, right? Coach Sarah, who was who's a coach here, very into the competitive realm of CrossFit, huge, very enjoys it, right? And we threw a throwdown with Babylon CrossFit.
Babylon, right? Yeah.
Well, we did it here.
Oh, that's right. You did it here. Trish came here.
She came here. And I said, Sarah's superpower, she loves this realm. She loves this competitive stuff, right? Let's do a throwdown. Let's do a somewhat competition. Home run, grand slam, knocked it out the park. Sarah, I remember that day and the day after, she was on a high because she did so well helping build that, compose that, orchestrate that, execute that, everything. Right? And that's what I'm working on. I'm working on finding the superpower of all my team to make them and me grow in every aspect that we can grow.
How many members do you guys have currently?
I want to say, we had a great May. I want to say anywhere between 115 to 120.
So you guys are coming up on the point where like you if you don't find that, you're going to cap out.
If I don't find...
If you don't build the team.
Yes,
so
100%.
As you move towards the 150 mark, you have to start building a team. Otherwise, you go back to what you mentioned before, which is like you're all things to all people at all times.
Because you can do that to your team also.
Correct.
If you do not put your team, or you not continue to grow your team, you will overload that, and they will start to feel that same effect.
Yeah.
Which, and that's why I think this is a little bit of a sticky subject with regard to like what's full-time and hours worked. And I don't think people recognize the emotional equity that is spent inside the walls of a gym. And they're like, well, you only coached 4 classes today. I'm like, that's a hefty load.
Yeah.
And then maybe did an onboarding for somebody, maybe did a PT client and had administrative work. I'm like, that's like, you're going to sleep good that night.
Yeah.
And I think recognizing that, and I think that experience that you had at Revenge of just feeling the just complete wear down of doing all things, you have to take that and you have to look at it on your team. One of the big mistakes I think I've made, I think every other box owner in the world has probably made at some point, is like, well, that's how I did it, so you have to suffer now. And it's like, A, that's dumb, and B, it's not going to last.
No.
So you have to think about that. Like, you, as a box owner, you should make the person who comes in behind you, their life should be easier. They should not have to have all the struggles that you had. That doesn't mean they don't work hard. But they should not fall in all the pit holes that you fell in. Right. If you did, you're just like, now it's the blind leading the blind. It's just like, hey, here's the map, but I'm not going to tell you where all the potholes are.
It's a shitty job being the leader. It's like, I just walked this path. I'm not going to tell you where it is.
Don't worry, that brain's going to hit you right in the face, but you'll know when it hits you.
Yeah. And to that, that something that I've been implementing lately, especially over the course of the last 4 weeks, is none of my coaches coach more than 3 classes in a row. And that is the absolute max. That's if like, damn, I had nobody left. Like, there's your 3rd class, right?
What would that look like on the schedule? Like, what 3 classes would they be?
Like say a 5:30 a.m., a 6:30 a.m., and an 8 a.m.
Okay,
right?
I could agree with that. If there's a bigger break in there, then I might have a disagreement on that. But
sometimes we'll have like a 4:30 p.m., 5:30 p.m., 6:30 p.m. But here's this.
That's rough.
Right, it is.
At the end of 6:30, you're like, all right, everybody get out of here.
Right. I tell you, we
no warm up, everybody.
A few of my coaches were busy yesterday. One Coach Giselle, who is a sweetheart. You ever seen the movie Ace Ventura: Pet Detective?
Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember when he shakes the key and he walks into the house and he does that and all the yeah. That's Coach Giselle. No,
she was here earlier.
Yeah, that's
She coached the class right before
Yes,
the 10.
correct, right.
Okay.
Amazing coach, right? So dedicated, but animal lover, animal rescuer, right? So she takes care of a dog that has something. It's twitching and stuff like that. But she had to take him to the doctor. Coach Sarah was away to Florida, so here I am, just myself and Coach Allison, and we had a coach. I think it was 4 or 5 classes in a row. I haven't done that. We haven't done that in so long. I felt it, right? I just felt the drain. Like those last classes, I'm like, man, this is taking everything from me. But it showed me that what I'm implementing is the right thing. That 3 classes, the absolute max if you have to. But I like my coaches to give me 2 classes back to back because I know 100% they're going to give me their absolute best. You know, and correct.
And that way the cool down isn't you leaving.
Yeah, correct.
Cool down is walk to your car.
Yeah, and it's like, and there's a sweet spot for coaching too. So it's not just one. One is like, all right, well, I just got the rust off, and I'm like warmed up now and ready to go. Not to say that you should mail that one in.
Second one's fire.
The second one's fire. If you're really good, the third one is actually your best one. Or you look at it like, this is what I think is somebody who's really good. Their first one is like, it's pretty tight to what they planned out. The second and the third one, if you laid those timelines on top of each other, they wouldn't have deviated by more than 30 seconds on the whole thing, and it would have just been like boom, boom, boom.
Because from experience, too,
Prove the concept in the second one,
right,
and then show off in the third.
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
I'll juggle some stuff while I do this, right?
You know, and that experience, like you give me that third class, get it. And that's what I'm working on, right? I'm working on building that just fire in here constantly, right? Yeah. And that's been a big project of mine because I've been having some great conversations and kind of like even circle back to like what I've learned from Revenge, right? Like, know what you want to, know what you're seeking in an individual to coach. Don't hire them, and try to take the words right out of your mouth. Don't hire them because they're great and they're cool people. Oh, he seems or she seems like they could be fun in class. No, can they deliver what you're looking for, and then put them into your system, right, of just operations, and magic will happen.
That's the important part, which is like, what do you need?
Yeah.
Right. So the number one hiring mistake in box is like, well, I like Marcus. Hey, I'm going to give you all this stuff. Turns out Marcus doesn't like to do any of the shit that I needed, right?
It's all true.
You need to figure that out. Like, what do you need? It's much easier to find that person once you know what it is that you need. It's like dating.
Yeah.
Right? You don't just go around randomly like,
you look like you can fit the bill.
Yeah, you're like, this might work out just randomly. You're the third person I've walked into. You have to know what you're looking for. Yeah. And then the search becomes pretty easy at that point. It's not to say that you're going to hit it a home run on the first try. Like, you'll get some wrong, but you're going to be significantly closer.
Well, it's so much easier to say yes or no.
Right.
Right, which is the whole point.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah, because if that person is cool and you like them and you're like, nope, that's like, I know Marcus really well. I know what I need. I know he's not good at any of those things. He's good at certain things. That's not what I need now as a box owner. I need something very specific. I need somebody who is this person who is uber organized or whatever it is. Like somebody who probably, your first hire is usually somebody who just knows the gym as well as you do, so they can plug in very quickly, or there's somebody who fills the holes that you have in your game as an owner. They're like, okay, their superpower is quite literally my kryptonite. Plug them in, but now you have to let them run.
Yeah.
So I think it's cool. I want to point something out real quick. So you're having a whole new conversation now, right? Your focus now is on leadership, on team development, on the culture of the team itself, right? Not just on surviving or the basics of the business. And a lot of people, I think, want to get to that part because that seems like, I know from the outside in, that's the fun part, that's the cool part. And it seems like, I just coming in and I just get to, play mayor and as we call it, and, just go around and shake hands and, hey, what's up? But you earn that. And you earn that not just through the equity from the relationships building, but the ability to do that and focus on that only comes from getting the fundamentals of the business right first. Right. You must first go through that. And I mean, you had your evolution with Revenge. You learned your lessons. You came in here. You had Allison, who was your balancer. You guys were able to build this business up, build the systems, get everything running smoothly so that now you're no longer caught up in the washing machine of like, I got to put out this fire and that fire and that fire. And you get to focus in now on the team because you have that core system and team running that series of systems in place. It's a beautiful thing, man. That is our growth path with Affiliate U is people come into Affiliate U at all different stages, but our goal in Affiliate U, the first part, when I say first part, grad program, Affiliate U, is to get the foundation in place, a solid foundation, because then when you finish Affiliate U and you get into the grad program, it is now all about the leadership development. And now, because we're not worried about the basics anymore, now we've got systems in place that continuously improve the basics over time. It's never perfect the first way through, but the point is now that you have a process that's going to keep thickening and widening that foundation automatically, right? And then you can start to focus on building up the team, which is really where the growth happens longer term. And your longevity, quality of life, the profitability, all of it really starts to grow and snowball once you have that base in place. And it's awesome to see that you've been with Affiliate U now almost a year. 8 months?
October?
Yeah, I was going to say, so like 8 months. 8 months.
8 months. All right, so that's close.
But
it's the second half. You're 8 months in, and you're already getting to focus on that. And it's awesome, man. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. I've been having so much fun. And, with my journey through Affiliate U, it's the 10 years of experience actually helped me in a certain way, because there are certain assignments that we work on or things like that I can really like mentally dive deep into, right? Because I've had 5 or 6 different types of experiences with it.
Context matters. Context matters.
And I'm just like for me, it's hard.
You're like, oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's done a couple times.
And I've learned so much, and it's more than anything, I'm having fun doing it. And like I said, I go back to I feel like this is my first year in business. I'm like,
What's your biggest takeaway in the process? You're like, if you're like, this is the one thing I can really like hold on to that I've taken from this whole thing.
One thing I can really take away. You can't always try. It's a tough question for him.
We only ask tough questions here.
Yeah, my biggest takeaway is there's success out there, right? I felt like I kept recreating the wheel when I was running on my own, even when I first came here. There's success out there. There's men and there's women out there that have done this, that have been in your shoes, right? Trust these systems, trust this belief, trust these ideas, because they've worked. I was getting tired of trying different things, and though I succeeded in many, I failed in many. I was tired of I was tired of failing, and failing used loosely, right? I was just tired of being like, oh, here we go, I got to redo this again. Here, my biggest takeaway is I felt that there are systems out there that I was not aware of that can help me become so much more successful here. And finding Affiliate U has just exposed that. It's like, yeah, as simple as Trello. Dude, if I had Trello years ago, forget about it. Forget about it! Like, my retention, my onboarding would be like...
We'd have 568 members here at Cal Harbor.
And it's simple as that.
That guy, he's joining right now.
And just, believe it, trust in it. There's a process out there. I always say, man, people always talk about, CrossFit's dying, CrossFit never died, right? I believe in it. I still believe in it. And if you don't believe in it, here I am 10 years later, only growing. Just told you I had my most revenued month, my grossing month here as a history in Cal Harbor, nearly the most as an owner, right? I believe in CrossFit and everything that comes with it. And this stuff that we talk about, systemizing and journey finding, that's all part of it, right?
And you guys don't do... this is just CrossFit. You guys don't do anything else.
We just do CrossFit.
I love it.
We just do CrossFit.
Get the core thing right.
Yeah,
do the core thing amazing, and everything else will set itself up for success.
Correct. There's this, we offer boot camps, we offer yoga. I'm like, that's just, for me, I was like, that's like more systems, more things, how to manage that, how to how to make that work. Just focus on your core.
Well, it's a different version of the same story you told earlier. Which is doing all the things.
Yeah.
If you have all the things in your gym, you're no different than a gym owner who does all the things in the gym. All of them are done at a very mediocre level, and it'll survive for a while. We've talked about passion as a shelf life. You'll hang in there. You're tough. You'll do it, right? It'll happen. And one day you wake up and be like, I don't do this anymore. This sucks.
You did.
I'm over it. Like you did. You're just like, this doesn't work for me anymore. That day's coming if you don't solve that problem.
Right. And I think we all, as business owners, specifically affiliate owners, go through that cycle of where we just feel like we need to keep complicating it. I need to add this program, I need to add this and do that. And it goes from being this simple thing that works to being this complicated thing that doesn't work and burns you out. And some people get to the point like you did, give up and walk away. And I think, and I've spoken with several over the years that regret. They're like, I really miss it. I loved that. I just hated the business side of it. Right. It's like, well, you just didn't get through the shitty part yet.
Yeah.
Right. There's a learning curve you have to go through. And you go through this complication, and then you recognize, wait a second, strip it all back down, get back to the basics. What is it that I'm here for, that they're here for? What do I love to do? Get that right. And then you can glue on a little thing here, maybe a little thing there that's complementary to it, that doesn't take away from it. And it just sings. It's so much better when it's just simple and potent.
And more importantly, if you do want to do those other things, if you get the core thing right, it's so much easier to get the second thing on, and that second thing will be significant. It'll be sustainable. You know, like if you want to do a nutrition program, if your core thing is crushing, and then you have the time, the bandwidth, the creative space to go in there, the team to go and be like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to spend 7, 8, 9 months building this program, whatever. Like that thing will hit the ground and it will take off like a rocket ship.
Well, here's the difference. It's you get the core thing right, and then you add something that's complementary to it because this is working well. Not this isn't going so well. I need to. It's like a replacement almost. Like I need the nutrition program to survive. If it weren't for the nutrition program, we'd be up shit creek. That's doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Right? Then you're in the wrong business. You should be in the nutrition business. Correct. And go pursue that, because clearly that's what you're better at and what you may be more passionate about. But moral of the story is get this right first. Then it's natural. It's obvious too, right? It's like, oh well, the nutrition thing is obvious. We've got Susie here. She loves this. Let's empower her with the systems and the support and build it out properly. And guess what? Usually, just hits and it's profitable and it's awesome.
Like we're going through that now. Like we were going to do it in May, and then we looked at it and we're like, nope, not ready. And here's the deal: I'm not in a hurry.
Because you don't have to be.
I don't have to be in a hurry. I don't need it right now. I'm like, I want this thing I want it to hum. I want it to be fun. Like I want the dietitian that we have on there, I want her to enjoy it. I don't want her to feel like she's drowning in a sand pit, because we all know what that feels like. It should be fun. So take the time, get it right. We're like, nope, that's going to be a nightmare. Scrub it, wash it again, like rebuild it. And we're like, August. Cool. Everybody feel good with August? Like, yeah, in August we'll be ready. August we'll be chomping at the bit to get that off. Mm-hmm. And then we'll make the fine tweaks as we go.
And you roll out something that's actually awesome. Not just roll a shit show out.
Right.
Everybody join the circus.
I really need you guys to sign up for this, because if not, it's going to work.
We're going to make it up as we go. We're just make it up as we go.
I spent all weekend putting this together. Do it right, damn it. Do the work.
Yeah, do the work. So, anything exciting coming up you guys got going on?
What do we got going on coming exciting? Let's see. Our 10-year anniversary.
Come on.
I was literally I was trying to tee you up for this.
You've got the $700 porta potties.
You overheard that.
I saw them out this back. They were spray painting them gold. And I was like, no, it's not going to fool anybody.
Our 10-year anniversary party. So Cow Harbor hit 10 years on April 2nd, which was great. And it's wonderful. Thank you very much. And one of the original owners, Bobby Muser, who, again, is still a coming member here.
I think that's so badass, by the way.
Yeah,
it's a good sign.
He's great dude, firefighter, looks jacked, right? If there's a burning building, that's the guy who I want to save my life, like that kind of guy. So original owners here, 10 years ago, they started Cow Harbor Cross on April 2nd, and then we approached it, and then we're throwing a massive party on May 21st. And here's a funny story. People are like,
that's a week from today, Saturday.
If you saw,
Saturday.
If you saw the pictures of where this party's gonna be, you're like, what is this?
Dude, I saw it.
It's a house party. You saw it.
So dope.
It's a house
you guys
party.
rented a house?
Okay, get ready for it. So we were looking.
I saw this movie.
We were looking for a park with a gazebo, and one of the members goes, "Hey, what are you guys looking for a park for?" We're like, "Well, we want to throw an anniversary party, I think." He goes, "How many people are you thinking about having?" We're like, "I don't know, 100, 150. He's like, "Oh, come have it at my house." We're like, "You could just easily have 150 people in your house." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "As long as it wasn't like 300. I'm like, 300? So if I said 225, you'd be like, "Yeah, I could do that."
This is usually the same person. This is usually the same person at your gym when you're just like, I don't know if Bob can afford the price raise of $10, and he's like lives in a 14,000 square foot box.
It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Bob will be fine.
Bob will be fine.
So he gave us his house. His house is it's on Ashbroken Avenue. It's his backyard's the beach. It's
That's
like
awesome.
Backyard, huge yard, beach. And he gave us his house. He goes, "Yeah, dude, like this gym means it's important to me. I love it." Like nobody knows this guy though, because all he comes is at 5:30 a.m. So members like, "Who's that?"
He's
I'm
a
like,
sleeper.
Yeah, I'm like, "It's Joe Goler." They're like, "Who's Joe Goler?" I'm like, "Unless you come at 5:30 in the morning,
Everybody's gonna know on May 21st.
Yep. Social status at the gym just went up.
So we have this event. We have nearly 150 guests coming. Kids
I know
are
you said
coming.
like 140.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we're near 150.
I feel a little left out because I didn't get an invite. mine.
I got mine. Thanks, by the way.
Yeah, Florida did. Yeah, fuck you guys.
So we have that coming on the 21st, which is going to be fantastic. It's an all-day, all-nighter. Well, it's 1 to 6 p.m. Let's see how many people leave at 6 p.m.
Right. Yeah. Mistake number one.
It's going to be fantastic.
We'll talk to you about how to do a party.
And I tell you, I got, is it six or seven? I can't remember. Six original members 10 years ago are still members here, are going to be at the party.
That's awesome. Well
6
played.
or 7. I want to say 7. It could be 6 or 7. But original members, straight
Do you know
up.
how many people, like, do you know, is that, those are just the people coming, or that's how many people that you have that are still original members?
Repeat that one more time.
So those 6 or 7, is that all the original members that you have?
No.
Those are just
current.
the ones going to those?
No, current. Yeah.
Okay.
That's all the original members we have, about 6 or 7 of them.
I think that's pretty good.
That's insane.
10 years.
10 years.
insane,
10
man.
years. Yeah.
Doing it right.
All of them. They're great. And it's funny because we do our anniversary post on our social media. And some of them, like, you're starting to see, like, happy 10 years. And they're like, what?
Let me ask you a question. With those people, have you leaned on them? Have you kind of asked them their thoughts on when you came in? Did you confide in them at all?
I had great conversations with them. I remember when I first became owner here, they were very honest, right? They were very happy with me stepping in here because I think they saw my methods, they saw my practices, and all that stuff. But more than anything, I think that they saw that the place that they were in for so long is going to continue living, right? And they've expressed like, I'm happier. No, I'm not happier. Like, it's better. Like, I see a bunch of new members. I feel the energy, and that's important to me.
Energy shift.
Like for me, my family is Peruvian, from South America, and me and my wife always have this conversation. For me, like, uncles and aunts are like very important to me. Like, the elders for me are like, gotta live up to them. So when I see a 10-year member and they tell me that they are still loving it, they're happy that I'm here. For me, that's $1 million, right? Because for me, that, like, you've seen this gym from day one to now, and you're gonna tell me that you're loving it, you're happy, you love it, that we're still here. That's the world to me.
And that doesn't take away from the previous owner, by the way,
No.
which is beautiful. It's
Yeah.
not that you came in to save it and fix it. It's that you came to continue and grab the baton and keep running this thing. And it's a new era for Cal Harbor CrossFit.
Yeah, and for sure. So they expressed that stuff to me, and it's great. I still see him in class all the time. Yeah, you met Dean. Well, he's gonna hear this podcast. He goes, "My name got said 5 times in that podcast."
That guy was fired up, by the way.
That's him every day.
That's mildly terrifying.
Yeah, it is. We got to give him the warning. It's like, listen, we have a
New person,
a
Dean.
trial
Chill
today.
out.
Just like,
Don't
take it easy.
listen. Don't violate their
He gives us like 2
personal
days.
bubble.
He gives us like 2 days, and then it's just like all out. But
No, that's great.
That's him, man. But that's that energy, that stuff is like it's what brings life in here. It does, you know.
I think. Were you doing? Is this the first time you've ever done like an anniversary party?
Yes.
Like ever in the whole time?
I want to say I may have done some anniversary parties in like the young years of revenge. Nothing that I can remember. This is the big one. Like,
But this goes to, you can't do this. You can't put this energy into something so important if you're doing all the things, and these are the things that get people to stick around. Yeah. And I think that's overlooked. Everybody likes to wave the community flag, ad nauseum. And I'm like, you're right, but you're not doing anything to foster the community.
Phoning it in.
Yeah, you're phoning it in. And I think that people really overlook this, or they do them in a very half-assed manner. They're like, oh, we went, we just everybody got together at the bar on Thursday. I'm like, that doesn't count. That's not an event. Like, this is an event. Like, it's RSVP. Like, this is the stuff that, like, it's
there's a plan.
There's a plan. People have FOMO and they miss out. They're just like, dude, I'm canceling. Like, I don't know if she was joking, but one of those members was like, I'm canceling my flight.
Krista, where are you at? You coming? Canceling my flight.
I'll be at the party. And I'm like, that's what you want. I'm like, that's a kick-ass party that people want to show up to. That's what we're talking about. But you can't get to that level where you can really create that connection and that culture if you're not trying to figure out all these other things that you've been kind of ratcheting and toying with. But when you get to that part, this is the fun stuff, man. This is when you get to create connection, not just with you and the members, but between the members.
Oh, yeah.
I think one of the greatest things about being an affiliate owner is you are the conduit for all things. Yeah. Like so-and-so comes in and they need a plumber. You're like, here, I want to introduce you to Bob or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, I need a financial advisor. I'm like, so-and-so's. Yeah, you are like, hey, you need a real estate agent? Cool, I got you. Like a banker, like whatever. Your car broke down? Got you. Who cares? I can solve all of your problems inside. Like we didn't talk about fitness for 5 days, but I could solve every other problem you have in your life simply by making a quick handoff to somebody that I trust, who's definitely going to do you right because this is their home. And I think that's one of the really cool things. And that's what I want people to get to. That's the fun part. That's when you get that thing humming, you're like, cool, now let's make it fun. Yeah. Right? It's cool as is. Let's make it fun. Let's make it cool. Let's make it where like people want to be a part of this joint.
Well, and I'm telling you, like that 10-year party, I'm so excited for it. It's I tell Allison, it's like planning our wedding. It's like we're planning our work wedding is what we're doing, right? Because it's going to be a great time, and that interaction of members.
Oh, they already got it. Allison's on it.
Come on, dude.
She got the signs back there. We were having a conversation.
Everything's good. We are set.
Are you going to DJ?
No, I'm not going to DJ.
Do you have turntables?
I don't have turntables. But that 10-year anniversary party is something that we're all looking forward to. My team is, they're excited for it. Everybody's behind it, and that's our next big move. And then from there, my next project after that is our nutrition component. Like that, I've been working on that very strongly because people have been asking for it, and we are working on it very hard. So cool. Hopefully that will be out by I want to say, what are we in May? Early July, late June is where I want to have that kind of stage in this room. Yeah. Whether it be remote online for people to watch if they can't be here and in person, and that's a nice component because I feel ready to go that direction because we've gotten so tight with everything here. I'm like, okay. Things are going. Things are smoothly. We're running, and Allison is crushing it. She's handling everything we knew in order to just be focused on everything else. Let's start working on this other components.
Yep,
like we were just talking about. So we have that working on, yeah. Personally, just trying to be a good dad. My son, Giovanni, is the man.
He is the man.
Yeah.
Every time I see him, calls him like, what's up, bro?
Giovanni's there, so my wife and I just, doing the family thing.
Very cool.
It's great. And she's so supportive, Alana. Like, I love her so much, and shout out to her she's been with me. Like, I've met Alana in 2011 when I first was coaching at the other gym. Like, that's how long I've known my wife. So my wife has seen this journey for me throughout the entire way. She's been just supportive throughout the entire
What's that been like? I'm curious. Just like your relationship with because there's a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but like being an entrepreneur in many instances makes you the worst person to be married to in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
It's rough.
Yeah, Alana and
particularly if you are really one of these people and you are just like laser beam focused, because in some instances that's what you have to be.
Yeah.
But can you talk about that a little bit?
100%, absolutely. The early years, back to that point of drawing that fine line between, friends and business and all that stuff, that got very messy because then it just started affecting my relationship at that time with my girlfriend, right? And it was just, she stuck through it, we stuck through it. And listen, I'll be 100% honest, we don't have the fairy tale love story, like, oh, we met, it was perfect at the beach, and then we got married. Like, we all had our rough times, like we did. And we will to this day talk about it and reflect on where we came from to where we are today. And think about now, here I am as an entrepreneur doing 100% of the business. The relationship was definitely hurting, right? But we stuck through it because she still supported me and I still supported her because she was just recently graduated. She's a speech language pathologist.
Okay.
She graduated from college. So she was in that early look for work type of phase, kind of like work, internship for free, whatever the case is. And it was rough for us, but through the course of time, and especially when we came here to Cal Harbor, all the errors that we've learned for the last 5-6 years. We said, how do we help preserve a wonderful relationship between you and I to make it better, right? And we've had conversations, and they were hard conversations. So you remember the time you did this to me? I remember the time you did that to me? I'm like, okay, all right, I'm sorry. Right?
But that is the story of most great relationships. Yeah. It's the hard part. You're supposed to be growing together and learning together. If not, I mean, that's a whole other conversation about how hard you're trying in life and challenging yourself and challenging each other. But having that core of, hey, we support each other, we get through this. I mean, it's not that different of a story for me. I mean, when I was coming up and starting my first businesses and then crash and start over and all of that, you have to learn that. You have to screw it up so that you can understand it and say, oh, yeah, I can now speak to this from experience, and I can actually put a rule in place for myself, or something is understood now in the relationship as to why this is important to do or not do, and you build that up over time. And I think as an entrepreneur, it is part of the journey. And some people, I think, don't ever get the balance because they don't recognize that it takes work. Just like how your business takes work and intention, the relationship takes work and intention. And if you want to be an entrepreneur and have a great relationship at home, you have to do both. And it's not going to be perfect. Yeah. Because in order to get good at either one and eventually both, it's going to be this kind of like push-pull till eventually it starts to kind of level out. And then instead of it being this freaking crazy thing, it's much smoother. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. We've had when we came into Cal Harbor, we were ready to purchase it. Like we had a hard conversation. Like, are we going to do this again? Mm-hmm. And if we're going to do it again, let's talk about us. Like, how do we not lose everything that we've been building, everything that the direction that you and I are going, the direction that we were going? Like, how do we learn from those mistakes? And we have. And I'm telling you, she's absolutely amazing to me, because to be right now 10 months postpartum and me like in this right now, as deep as I am, she's a magnificent just juggler of it all. She goes, I'm going to be a great wife. I'm going to be a great mother. I'm going to allow my husband to be what he needs to be, but I'm also going to always remind him, don't forget to be a father and a husband, right? Because she's still telling me, but that's honest conversations that we've had. And it's just an ever-growing and ever-learning experience for sure. Because entrepreneurship and married life and infant or baby newborn, it's hard, and that was a whole new journey for us as well, because it's like we've never
kids that's like trying to learn quantum physics.
But
in the dark.
But here's also a plus. I live 3 minutes from here. Like, I live super close to the business, so a lot of the times, like, if I got to be here late, I'll be home in 3 minutes, right?
Right.
Or if I got to be at work, I don't have to leave an hour and a half before, right? I'm not hitting traffic. It's like, okay, cool, I got a 3 o'clock or 3:30 class. I'll leave the house 2:55, 3 o'clock, know that I can set up, and
we got to talk about that. That's not early enough. We'll talk.
Right. I mean, it's not saying I'm not home doing my thing.
I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I mean, I tell you what, we're more in love than we ever been in life before.
That's super cool to hear.
And just we've learned, and we're continuing to learn. And God willing, when baby number 2 or maybe 3, I don't know how many come out, right? Like
it's usually one at a time.
Yeah,
we're gonna learn.
Depends
some
how many
more.
times you try.
We're gonna learn some more. So I'm sure 99.9% she heard this podcast. Alana, I love you. You're great, and thank you for just supporting me in my journey and being that person next to me. I'm looking right at the camera at you.
That's very cool. All right, last thing.
Tell me.
You go back in time and meet yourself 6 years ago. One piece of advice you give yourself.
6 years ago. 6 years ago, piece of advice.
Why 6?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's more than 5, less than 10.
6 years ago. At the end of the day.
That was about the time you left Revenge, right?
Yeah, roughly.
That's why.
At the end of the day.
Got lucky.
Circle back.
At the end of the day, no matter what, it boils down to, we just talk about it, your partner, my wife. Like, I couldn't have done any of this stuff. Like, don't mess that up. Focus that. Put it as a priority, because the happier you are with your partner, the more you're going to be able to do what you love openly, willingly, freely, and you're going to succeed. So don't screw that up, Louis. Like, yeah, we learned, right? But don't mess that up, because that one person in your life is going to give you the opportunity to do everything else in life. And if Alana wasn't there to give me that feeling, I don't know if I'd be here today. All right.
That's a good place to end, my friend. Right. Thanks for having us, dude. Appreciate it.
You guys are great, man.
Cool.
So thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. See ya. Thanks for listening to this episode, and we want to thank our partner and sponsor, O2. If you're an affiliate owner and have questions about carrying O2 in your facility or interested in a free refrigerator, go to wholesale.drinko2.com/pages/best-hour-offer for more details. Thanks for checking out this episode of the Best Hour of Their Day podcast.
We appreciate you listening and choosing to have us help you in your passion for coaching and affiliate ownership. You can find more episodes just like this on all podcast platforms. If you're interested in learning more, you can reach out to us on any social media platforms, or you can visit www.besthouroftheirday.com to book a call. If you found this episode helpful for you, please share it so that we can help other coaches and affiliate owners to help build a bigger and stronger CrossFit community. Thanks for listening.